أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to LQMilton class number 21. Before we begin our class, there has been an incident in the community. Our beloved brother Dr. Nadeem Bhatti, his mother-in-law passed away relating to COVID-19, and we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He may forgive her shortcomings and increase her ranks in Jannah. Ameen. While this news was shared on a WhatsApp group and a lot of the brothers shared Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un multiple times, so we just thought to explain what does this phrase really mean or sentence really mean, because most of the time a lot of us would say these words when we hear demise of somebody without even understanding what exactly these two sentences really mean. So let's try and, based on whatever tools we have in our toolkit, try to understand Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Very important. And there is a logic in these sentences which we will try to discover today. There is Inna. How many times we read Inna in Quran? Inna means surely, verily, indeed, absolutely, no doubt about it. We call this Inna in Arabic, which we will come across in book 2. We will do Inna more detail in book 2. Harfu Tawqid. Harfu Tawqid means particle of emphasis. Most important emphasis. Inna. And when Inna comes, it will be followed by an ism or a noun, and that noun, due to the force of emphasis Inna brought in, will become mansoob. Okay. Innal insana lafi khusr. You see, al insana is mansub. In our previous classes, we introduced damirun muttasilun, attached pronouns, and the last one was na, us, right? Last one was na, us, and we know that these damirun muttasilun, they can join with anything. They can join with an ism, they can join with a noun, they can join themselves with a particle, they can join themselves with harf jar, they can join themselves with zarf, anything, right? Yeah, and to the verbs as well, right? Anything. So when I say indeed, surely, verily, with emphasis indeed we, plus na, it becomes inna. It becomes inna. Inna in Arabic language cannot be translated. It has to be felt. The force of inna, the emphasis of inna can only be felt in the heart, right? But there are different translations available when we read through the Quran. So here we are saying indeed, surely, verily, with emphasis that we, what is lillahi? Li harf jar, Allahi ism majroor. What is harf jar? Li means belong to or for, right? Two meanings. Indeed, we belong to Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a statement, a sentence that we are submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying that we belong to you. Now if there is a belonging, then I am entitled to receive that belonging to myself, isn't it? So once we make this statement, inna lillahi, we make this statement that we are belongings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then comes waw harfu atfin. And what is the function of harfu atfin? It joins two words or two sentences together, and those two sentences are connected, and since they are connected, that means there is a relationship between those two sentences or word, and we call it ma'tufun alayh. So after waw started the next sentence, which is inna, and indeed we, ilayhi. What is ilayhi? Harf jar ila, and he damirun muttasilun. Ilayhi, ilayhima, ilayhim. We did that drill, right? And indeed towards him raji'un. What is raji'un? The verb here is raja'a. Let me just write that down, raja'a. What is the meaning of raja'a? He returned. He returned. And in the last class, class number 20, we touched upon how we can create a file, the doer of the action, from most of the verbs. What is the pattern? Fa'ilun. So if I have to replace the fa kalima, ain kalima and lam kalima, putting the die fa'ilun, it will be raji'un, the person who is returned, the person who is returned. And then from raji'un, if I would have to make the plural, it will be raji'un, raji'una. That means including all of us. Indeed, we all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and indeed we all have to return to him. Ilahi raji'un. I'm not going into the grammatical analysis too much into detail. We'll do it some other time, and I'm pretty sure some of you can actually do it. But we're trying to understand, but next time when we say these sentences, we should bear in mind what exactly we are saying and how important that is. So now, since we are the belonging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why we all have to return to Him. All have to return to Him. Now there's another twist here. First, we are making a statement, Inna lillahi. Indeed, we all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And indeed, we have to return to Him. Why we have to, excuse me, why we have to return back to Him? Because we all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this sentence here, because of wow, is connected or ma'tufun ala to this sentence, Inna lillahi. We have to return back to Him because we are belonging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And since we are belonging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to return to Him. This is your circle of life. And someday we all have to be caught in this circle of life. A person is born, becomes the belonging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then that person will return back to Him. Why is returning back to Him? Because he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this circle of life continues on. Now that we understand, and next time when we share this or say these sentences, we know what we are talking about. So we have to stop, step back, and just don't randomly type Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un and just send it and then forget about it. We don't do that anymore, because now we are learning what this really means. So this is just sharing for our own knowledge. In class number 20, we started Suratul Kafirun and we lightly touched upon some of the grammatical analysis of Suratul Kafirun. A bit more detail. We are not going into too much detail because we don't have that many tools in the toolkit, but we are going to do a bit more pondering upon these ayahs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the last class we said Qul. In the last class we said Qul means you say, and we already established that this is Fe'lu Amrin, and Fe'lu Amrin is the order given to a second person singular. Qul, then comes Ya. What is this Ya? We have learned about this Ya. This is Harfu Nida. Harfu Nida is vocative particle. Vocative particle in English, you can say that, right? And it's used in many languages. Oh boy, oh man, to address somebody who's in front of you, right? Or you can also address to a plural, like many people, oh people, something like that. So this is a vocative particle. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering, saying Qul, you say, oh ya ayyu. Ayyu is ismu nakra. We are not going into detail. Let's talk about ha, because these phrases come in the Quran all the time. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, qul ya ayyuhal aminu, or in many different forms it comes. What is this ha? This is harfu tambi. Harfu tambi, particle of advice or warning. right? Particle of advice or warning. So, addressing people who are in front of you with the particle of warning or particle of advice, harfu tambi. So, when you say kul, you say, O you all, who? Al kafirun, and we have done that. Al kafirun is your ism. But when I say kul, you say what? If I have been ordered to say something and using the vocative particle, and then also using the harfu tambi, the particle of emphasis, the particle of advice or warning to the kafirun, but say what? I need more information. La abadu ma ta'budun. I do not worship what you all worship. Right? Now, in the last class, we already established that abudu and ta'budun are fi'l mudari, and we already established that fi'l mudari is a present tense or present continuous, right? We already established that. We are not going to too much detail here. Now watch. Wala antum abiduna ma'abud, and you are all not worshipper of what I worship. And then wala ana abidum ma abattum. Now here watch something. I am not going to too much detail, but what is abudu? Fi'l mudari. What is abattum? Madi. Fi'l madi, past tense. You see how? Because if somebody, if you're saying something to somebody that you are totally different than us, then a person with a cunning mind can come and start arguing with you in different tones. Okay, you're saying you do not worship what I worship, but what about I worship what you worship? You know, a cunning mind can try and confuse you, but Quran is saying I do not worship what you all worship, and you are not the worshipper of what I worship. So instead of somebody coming in and then try to turn the tables on to you, the statement has already been made to negate that. See, this is how very important for us to understand the grammatical analysis of these ayahs. And then when you say that to him, okay, you're not the worshipper of what I worship, then he say, how about in the past? Then Quran says, wala ana abdum, and I'm not the worshipper of what you all worshipped. So it's a total negation. Don't try to confuse me. Whatever you say, the answer is right there. Leave no ambiguity at all. Negation from all aspects, from all corners. And then you say, wala antum abiduna ma'abud, and the last one is very, very important ayah, lakum dinukum waliyadin, and for you all, and after you say everything, you just provide a summary or a conclusion of what you have said, that to them, for you all your deen, and for me my deen. That's it. End of story. Now, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Say what? First you make a statement, la abudu ma ta'budun. Wow comes. And what did we learn here? Wow is ataf. It connects two sentences. Ma'tufun ala. So this sentence here is actually ma'tufun ala. This sentence here is ma'tufun ala this sentence. Double negation. Double negation. not this you cannot see this negation separately from this negation anymore. You cannot see this negation separately from this negation anymore, because wow is sitting there connecting the two. So it's not just, so anybody who try to confuse has no room left. Cannot be taken out of context. So it's double negation. Same here, wow comes. This is connected to this sentence and ultimately to this sentence. And same this one, they are all connected. So one negation, double negation, and then 3 times negation and 4 times negation. If you think about all these ayahs and try to culminate this, you can think about it all night or maybe weeks. Try to figure out what these negations mean, how strictly the negation has been emphasized in Suratul Kafirun. That is why some scholars say that this is one of the best surah that talks about the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawheed, Jazakallah, Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot view these negations in a separate form, because they are all connected through wow. And then once everything here is, then it all goes back to Qul. Are we say, you see, Qul, say what? Say this, then say this, then say this, then say this, and then they're all connected, and then you keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and then you all comes back to say this to them. And in the end, you just conclude. That is why the scholars, this is the beginning of our pondering of these surahs. That is why scholars, they spend months, weeks, years just to understand one surah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, we can spend our entire life just trying to understand this surah. And this is just a very light flavor. There are so many other things going on in this surah. We don't have those tools right now. So one lifetime or many lifetimes are not enough to grasp.
Also, there's a message, I think, at the end, when you have differences. So at the end, there's no need to argue.
Yeah, there's no need to argue. Very nice, very good point, Jazakallah Nambai. Yeah, there's no need to argue. Once you do that, and then somebody who's not even like, who's so blind, not even like trying to understand what you're saying, in the end you conclude it, look, for you, your deen, for me, my deen. Conclusion. That's it. End of it. Okay. So we've done this surah, and we'll bring inshallah more surahs, and we'll try to ponder upon them. Coming back to our book number 1, lesson number 12, that is page number 63. This is a very easy lesson. The only new concept that Dr. Saab is teaching us is ismu mausula, relative pronoun. But we've already been introduced to relative pronouns. So it should be very easy for us to understand this lesson. This is a conversation between sisters, ladies, few ladies. This is a conversation going on between the ladies. That's why the pronouns that are used here by Dr. Saab is in feminine gender. Damirun muttasilun. Now, damirun muttasilun, what are those? 14 of them. Let's do a drill here. Hu huma hum, ha huma hunna, ka kumakum, ki kumakunna, ya mutakallim, and na. We have done this, right? So when we go through this lesson, I will make some curveballs here and there, so that our understanding of the damirun muttasilun or attached pronoun is enforced. Okay, so the first one is kaifa. Kaifa means how. Halu ki ya bintu. Now, why halu ki? Because we are talking to ya binti. Ya is harfu nida. That means there is a feminine gender in front of the person who is saying that. What is the meaning of that? How are you, O daughter? Ya bintu. Haluki. Now, if, for example, this statement is being said to a brother, what changes it will make? Forget about ya bintu. We can change it, but then halu ka, because we are concentrating on the damirun muttasilun here. Halu ka. Okay. What about if we are making this statement to feminine gender? Feminine gender, second person plural. How can I do that? Halu kunna, not dual. For dual, halu kuma or halu kunna. Or if I would have to say this statement to people who are masculine gender, second person plural, how can I change the damir muttasil? Kaifa halukum. Right. So, try to create different scenarios when we are going through this lesson. The answer is ana bi khair walhamdu lillahi. Ana mubtada, bi khairin jarun wa majrurun, shibbu jumla khabar, I am well, wow harfu atfin, alhamdu lillahi, and all praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And alhamdulillahi is your jumla ismiya, alhamdu mubtada lillahi jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla khabar. Next, min aina anti, where are you from? Min aina anti, where are you from? And if I would have to say this to a brother, how would I say? Min aina anta, or min aina antum if it's plural, or min aina antuma if it's dual, right? So, different scenarios. The answer is ana min Suriya, I am from Syria. I am from ana mubtada min Suriya, jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla khabar. Masmuki, what is your name? Ma. Now, we have touched upon a few flavors of ma. Ma can come as interrogative, ma can come as negation, ma can come as relative pronoun. Here ma is coming as interrogation, interrogative particle. Masmuka, what is masmuki, what is your name? Because we are addressing to a bintu, daughter. Masmuki, what is your name? The answer is ismi Aminatu, my name is Amina. Ismu mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim mudaf alayh, and Aminatu is your khabar. And ismu mubtada. Now mubtada, they are definite. Is ismu definite? Yes, ismu is definite, because mudaf alayh ya mutakallim is the damirun muttasilun. We know that they are all definites, and says if mudaf alayh is definite, that means the mudaf is also definite. Next one, aina abuki, where is your father? The answer is abi, my father. Huna, here. Fil Madinatil Munawwarati, my father is here in Madinatil Munawwarati. Now, let us do a quick grammatical analysis. Abi, where is the mubtada? Because this is nominal sentence, jumla ismiya. Abu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Where is the khabar? Huna, zarf, zarfu makan, adverb of place. Huna, he is, my father is here, right. So, huna is your zarf, zarf when I say zarf, shubu jumla, khabar. Now, zarf we know some of the zarfs do need mudaf alayh to make a good sense out of them. Huna is not one of them. When you say here, that means here, understood. Fil madinatil munawwarati, fi harf jar, al madinati ism majroor, al munawwarati naat, right. So, my father is here in Madinatil Munawwarati. Huwa, he, mufattishun, mufattishun means inspector. He is inspector. Fil madrasatis sanawiyati. Where is the mubtada? Huwa. Mufattashin is your khabar. And then fi harf jar, al madrasati ism majroor, as sanawiyati naat. He is inspector in secondary school. Wa aina ummuki, and where is your mother? Hiya aidan huna, she is also here. Hiya is your mubtada, huna is your khabar. She is also here, and aidan is for emphasis. Hiya tabibatun, she is a doctor. Fi mustashfal wiladati. Now, mustashfa is a very special noun. We will read this noun, we will come across these nouns, we will discuss these nouns in book 3. But you see how mustashfa, there is a ya and there is no sign on ya. The kasra is on the fa. So, mustashfa is majroor here. For now, we just know, because before mustashfa came fi, right? Before mustashfa came fi. So, we know mustashfa is majroor here. Al wiladati is your naat. She is a doctor. Hiya mubtada, tabibatun is your khabar. She is a doctor, and then we are giving more information. Fi mustashfal wiladati, in maternity hospital, right? In maternity hospital. Waman hazihil fatatu allati ma'aka. Waw is ataf. Now, this is a question. Now, questions we are not going to analyze until book 3. This is the advice and the direction from Dr. Abdur Rahim, and there is a logic to it, but we can translate it and just go through it. Waman haza, waman and who, hazihi, waman hazihi, and who is this? Al fatatu is young fellow, but feminine gender. Remember in lesson number 11 we read fatan. Let me just write that down. We read fatan. Young fellow, feminine, and then what is the masculine? Sorry, fatan is masculine. What is the feminine of fatan? Fatatun. Fatatun. So, we are saying woman hazihil fatatu, and who is this young fellow, feminine gender? Allati. What is allati? Relative pronoun. Ismu mausula. Ma'aka, which is with you. Ahiya ukhtuki, is she your sister? Ahiya ukhtuki. A is your hamza to istifham, is a particle of interrogation. It always comes in the beginning of the sentence, and if I remove this, then it will not be a question anymore. We have done this concept, but just for quick revision. The answer is la. No. No is coming here as harful jawab. Now, there are different flavors of la. We have done that. La nafiyatu lil jins, la nahiya, la nafiya. There are many flavors of la. We have come across or touch upon a few of them. Lahiya, no, hiya bintu ammi. Bintu ammi. She is daughter of my uncle. Daughter of my uncle. Hiya mubtada, bintu is your khabar. What else? Bintu is playing two roles here. Daughter of my uncle. Mudaf alayh. So bintu is your khabar, wa huwa mudaf, ammi mudaf alayh, wa huwa mudaf, and ya mutakallim mudaf alayh. Daughter of my uncle. Masmuha. What is her name? Now, if I am talking about the masculine gender here, what do I say? Masmuhu or masmuhum if it is plural, right? The answer is ismuha Fatimatu. Her name is Fatima. Ismu is your mubtada, wa huwa mudaf, and ha is your mudaf alayh. Ismuha, because remember the mirun muttasilun, when they join themselves with the noun, the compound is mudaf alayh. Fatimatu. Her name is Fatima. Now, when we meet and then we greet each other, we say assalamu alaykum. Kum, you all, right? Can I say assalamu alayka? If there is a one person, can I say that? Yes, I can say that. If there is a feminine second person singular there, can I say assalamu alayki? Yes, I can say that.
When you go to Madina,
yeah,
brother,
yeah,
say assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah.
Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, right? Assalamu alayki. Now, can I say assalamu alayna? Can I say that? Peace be upon us. Yes, in At-Tahiyyat we say that. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. We say that. Assalamu alayna. Can we say peace be upon us? And if you are in front of two brothers, can you say assalamu alaykuma? Yes, you can say that. Can you send peace and blessing, assalam, to a person, third person, assalamu alayhu, alayhi, assalamu alayhi? Yes, you can say that. Peace be upon him. So, you can take any of the damirun muttasilun and joins with these greetings. So, maybe this is something for practice. Practice, try and connect each damirun muttasilun with this sentence and see what is the meaning and who are you addressing it to. If there are plural females, second person, can you say assalamu alaykunna? You say that, right? But generally we say assalamu alaykum. This is a norm. Ismuha Fatimatu, her name is Fatima. Ahiya Zamilatuki, is she your class fellow? The answer is La, no. Ana fil madrasatil mutawassitati, I am in the middle school. Wahiya, and she fil madrasatis sanawiyati, and she is in secondary school. Rough translation. Let's analyze it. La is coming as harful jawab. Ana is your mubtada. Where is the khabar? Jarun majrurun. Shibu jumla khabar. Fil madrasati. She is in the school. But after al madrasati comes al mutawassita ti. Not. What kind of school? Middle school. I am in middle school. Wow comes harfu atfin, hiya, she, fil madrasati sanawiyati, and she is in secondary school. Alaki ukhtun, now there is a question there. Alaki ukhtun, do you have a sister? Now there is a concept we learned in the previous lessons, and as they come to my mind I keep repeating themselves so that it's fresh in our mind and enforced. When we talk about human relationships and we would ask them alaki ukhtun, we use harf jar li, but when we talk about material belongings we don't use li, we use inda. So if I would have to say, rather than ukhtun, I would ask somebody, do you have, rather than saying do you have a sister, I would ask, do you have a car? Then I would say indaka sayyaratun. I don't say alaka sayyaratun, I don't say that, because human relationships we use harf jar li, and for material belongings we use inda. So here she is asking, do you have a sister? The answer is la, no, harful jawab, ma li ukhtun. Ma is coming here as negation. I do not have a sister.
Li, your relationship hai, it never breaks. In the car today you have, tomorrow you
don't have it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this lillahi, inna lillahi.
This is a very good observation in Ambai. And Ambai is saying that why there is a difference, right? Li, the relationship cannot be broken. Once it is established, a brother will remain a brother, a father will remain a father, and friendships and everything, those human relationships, that's why we use lillahi. This relationship cannot be broken. We all belong to Allah. Inda can be broken. I have a car today and tomorrow I may not have that car. Alaki ahun, do you have a brother? The answer is naam, yes. Harful jawab, li ahun, I have a brother. Kabirun, what kind of brother? Elder brother. Now li ahun kabirun is a jumla ismiya. Where is the khabar? Ahun, and li jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla khabar muqaddam. It comes before the mubtada, and the rule that we discussed, if the khabar precedes the mubtada will be indefinite most of the time. Let me just qualify this a little bit. There will be certain situations, but there is a reason, logic behind that. Li ahun, I have a brother. Kabirun, elder brother. Kabirun is your nath. Wow, and huwa, he, talibun, mubtada, huwa, talibun is your khabar. Bil jamiyati, he is a student in the university. Bil jamiyati jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla, that's it, no khabar, khabar already came. Talibun, mufrad, one word, marfu. Waman hazal tiflu allazi ma'aki, and who is this boy, little boy? Tiflu. Now we are talking about a masculine gender. Waman hazal tiflu allazi ma'aki, and who is this boy, child? Allazi, relative pronoun, which is ma'aki, with you. Huwabni akhi, huwa is your mubtada. Ibnu akhi, ibnu akhi, what is ibnu akhi? Son of my brother. Ibnu is your khabar, wahuwa mudaf, akhu mudaf alay, wahuwa mudaf, and ya mutakallim mudaf alay. He is son of my brother. Masmuhu. Now you see, before we were talking about the feminine gender, now we are talking about masculine gender. So instantly the damirun muttasilin now change into who. What is his name? When we were talking about Fatima, we say masmuha. Now we are saying masmuhu. What is his name? Ismuhu. His name is Sa'adun. His name is Sa'ad. Ummuki fil bayti alana. Is your mother in the house now? The answer is la. Harful jawab. No. Zahabat ilal mustashfa. What kind of sentence is that? Jumla felia. When a jumla felia comes, what are we looking for? No need for looking for mubtada khabar. Mubtada khabar only for nominal sentence. We are looking for the action and the doer of the action, right? Fail and file, minimum requirement. Sometimes the maf'ul also comes. Zahabat ilal mustashfa. Zahabat. Where is the file? Mustatir. Taqdiruhu huwa or hiya. Here, this ta is the tau tanisi representing feminine gender, but ta is not your file. This is the most common mistake most of the students make. With huwa and hiya, the file is always mustatir, unless it is mentioned in the sentence, because we know file can be mustatir, hidden, or sometime it manifests. And what is the rule we discussed? Whenever we come across a jumla felia and then there is a noun in that jumla and that noun is marfu, what are we supposed to do? Close our eyes, put the finger on that noun and say, this is my file. It's as simple as that. If in a jumla felia there is a noun and that noun is marfu, close your eyes, put your finger on that noun and say, this is my file. Sometimes the noun comes right after the fail, the verb. Sometimes it comes in the middle. Sometimes it may come in the end. It's our job to try and find it, because an action cannot be performed without the doer of the action. So whenever there is an action, there has to be a doer of the action. In this case, the doer of the action is mustatir, hidden. Taqdiruhu, estimation of it is hiya. Ilal mustashfa jarun wa majrurun shibu jumla. That's it, no khabar, because this is jumla failure. We have about maybe 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Huh? 12 minutes, inshallah. So we'll continue with the exercises. And we'll just do and cover exercise number 1. Ikra waktub, read and write. Now watch. Dr. Sahab wants us to watch how the damirun muttasilun or the attached pronoun are used in the sentence. Kaifa haluka ya abi. How are you, how are you, my father? How are you, my father? Oh, my father. Ya is there. How are you, oh my father? You see, when we read the sentence and then when we identify different, then we can immediately correct our translation, right? So, but then having said that, in our previous classes, we would come across an ayah, we would discuss it, and that's later when we were in book 3, when the students were equipped with many tools in their toolkit. Then we would ask them, can you translate it? and there would be 2 or 3 who would try and translate it, and all the translations would be a little bit different than other, because the choice of words, their own intellect and their own perception, in the end it gives the same message, but the translation would be different, right. So, this is why scholars said Quran cannot be translated exactly, cannot be. If we have to understand the Quran, we have to learn the language of Quran, so that we don't have to translate it. Now, whatever we discussed here, have any of us read those things that we discussed here in a translation? No. Translation, you would just see, I do not worship what you all worship, but then the connection, the identification of verbs, the negations, and all of the things that are going on in this surah, a translation cannot cover. A person who is doing it may know it, but then how would you, and then the emotions that are coming from going through these ayahs cannot be explained in a translation. Next one, Kaifa haluki ya ummi, how are you, O my mother? Haluki. Number 3, Aina Ainabnuki ya Zainab, Ainabnuki, where is your son? Because we are talking to Zainab, O Zainab. So, we used the Mirun Muttasilun ki. The answer is Zahaba ilal masjidi, he went to the masjid. Number 4, Aina bintuki ya Amina, where is your daughter, O Amina? The answer is Zahabat ilal madrasati, she went to the school. Zahaba, Zahabat, Zahaba was used for the son, Zahabat is used for the daughter. So, this is all Dr. Saw want us to observe. Number 5, Liman hazihi sa'atul jamilatu, Liman, to whom, hazihi, this, belongs, to whom belong this, as-sa'atu, a watch. What kind of watch? Beautiful watch, right. Just for the sake of it, though we are not going to analyze the questions until book 3, after hazihi come as-sa'atu. What is the grammatical value of as-sa'atu? Badal. Remember, after ismu ishara, if a noun comes and that noun is definite, it is your badal. If I remove the badal, then it still makes sense, because if there is a watch in front of me and I will remove as-sa'atu, I would say liman hazihi al jamilatu, and I'm pointing towards the watch. So, even if I remove as-sa'atu, the sentence still makes sense. And if I remove hazihi, because they are both, and hazihi in Arabic we call mibdal minhu, if I remove mibdal minhu, hazihi still makes sense. Liman as-sa'atul jamilatu, I am talking about a particular beautiful watch. This is a litmus test to understand the concept of badal. The answer is sorry, and then again the question is, Hiya lakiya Fatimatu, is that belong to you, O Fatima? Naam hiya li, it belongs to me. Number 6, Ahaza qalamuka ya Muhammad, Ahaza qalamuka ya Muhammad. What is the translation? Is this your pen, O Muhammad? The answer is La, no. Harful jawab, Haza qalamuka anta, this is your pen. Now, let us try and analyze this. Haza is your mubtada. Where is the khabar? qalamu wa huwa mudaf ka mudaf alayh. And what is this anta doing here? If I say haza qalamuka, this is your pen, wouldn't that make sense? Then why bring anta here? Emphasis. Because Muhammad probably was confused and he asked, is this your pen, O Muhammad? And Muhammad wanted to emphasize, no, this is your pen. This is your pen, yours. You want to emphasize it. Number 7, tilka sayyaratul. Okay, there comes relative pronoun ismu mausula. Tilka sayyaratul jamilatu. What is tilka? Mubtada. What is as-sayyaratu? Badal. What is the grammatical value of al-jamilatu? Naat. There is a beautiful car. Why we are using tilka here? Why not we are using zalika? Because as-sayyaratu is muannas. Zalika is used for masculine gender, and for feminine gender we use tilka. You see how these small changes. So we are talking about sayyaratu because of taw tanasi in the end. There is a beautiful car. Allati ismu mausula, which. Now remember, whenever there is a relative pronoun ismu mausula, there has to be a silatul mausul or sila, just in short say sila, right, or silatul mausul, which explains the ismu mausula. So in bracket, there is a beautiful car which kharajat al-ana min al-madrasati. Now we are talking about which left right now from the school. That is the car we are talking about, because there may be different cars there, but then we are talking about a particular car allati which kharajat al-ana min al-madrasati. So kharajat al-ana min al-madrasati, put the bracket, and this is your silatul mausul. This is your silatul mausul. And what is the lil mudiri? Where is the khabar in this sentence? Lil mudiri is the khabar. Lil mudiri is the khabar. Jarun wa majrurun, shibu jumla khabar. Now let's go a bit more deeper. Imagine for a second the ismu mausula and silatul mausul is not there. Imagine for a second. What remains? Tilka sayyaratul al-jamilatu lil mudiri. There you go. It makes sense. That beautiful car belongs to the headmaster. Allati came and explains that car which left just now from the school. Next one. There are more exercises in the next page on ismu mausul and silatul mausul, which will inshallah do it in the next class. We'll just finish this and then we'll wrap up the class. Number 8, anta muhandisun ya sayyidi. Are you an engineer, oh my sir? Sayyid means sir. Oh my sir. Answer is la ana tabibun. No, I am a doctor. Anti tabibatun ya sayyadati. Are you a doctor, oh madam, oh my madam? The answer is la ana mudarrisatun. No, I am a teacher. So anta and anti, damirun munfasilun, 14 of them. Huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. 14 of them. By now we should have really memorized them, understand them, and know exactly what they mean. With that, inshallah, we'll wrap up our class. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. لا یکلف اللہ نفسا الا وسعها لها ما کسبت وعلیہا ما اکتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا ان نسینا او اخطانا ربنا ولا تحمل علینا اصرا کما حملته علی الذین من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقت لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا انت مولانا فانصرنا علی القوم الکافرین۔ السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔